him. Hello, and welcome to another session of What the? So, the other day, posted a video regarding the 32-year testament. Now, building up to that testament, I have been introduced to families with my family and so on and so forth. I am extremely critical, obviously. Does it weigh into my benefit? Well, I tend to piss women off because I aim true. And me aiming true, I have a lot of circumstances because of the responsibilities I have been afforded. And those responsibilities include and are not limited to national security issues with proprietary technologies. So, I'm going to be giving away these national security circumstances to said individual, and there are secrets, and after 32 years you think that possibly that person would gain the trust of all the said secret holders and so on. Well, my family's critical of those women that I may pursue. So, a circumstance has been presented to me. How do you know the first one you meet and you don't fall in love, and how do you curb your enthusiasm? Create a situation where you're cautiously optimistic. And so being cautiously optimistic that will I find that first girl that I meet and that I date and so on and so forth? How do I grow with her and so on? And are girls wanting a commitment right away? What do they want out of this circumstance? Do they want to bilk me for information for their benefit? What do they have to offer as a dowry and so on and so forth? And obviously I look at, there are some really, really generous women in dowries, obviously. I appreciate it, and I remember, and I have circumstances of what they offer, and obviously I'm fortunate that we have excellent record-keeping skills. So, anywho, that being said, the opportunity to meet that girl, and there are women that say, well, and I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm this, highly sought after individual, but there are a few women that are interested, and some are like, well, if you date her, what if I never get a chance to have a date with you, and you never would know what could have been between us if you choose right away with this person that was introduced to you, and so on. And obviously, the women that I have been introduced to are just amazing. Their families are amazing. I love their families. Their families are so lovable. I love their families. I can't get enough of these families. So it's difficult as far as I'm concerned to choose. I thought for sure, I was like, wow, this girl is the one. She has to be the one. She is so beautiful. I mean, her family's awesome. Love her family. Can't get enough of her family. And then there was a circumstance, an impropriety. And that was in the contract. That was written. There's improprieties that are contradictory to our 32-year testament in being successful. I gotta let go. And so that happened. I had to let go. And then I was introduced to another. And I was like, oh my goodness, this girl is amazing. The love that she has is just incredible. Oh, goodness sakes alive. And the women that, the first girl was just, I love working with her. The second girl, it's like, oh my goodness, the potential that exists between us just because of her education that was afforded to her. And then this other girl where she's just so lovable and so endearing and so sweet and kind and beautiful and sexy, and just her sense of humor is just off the charts, and her family's lovable. Love her family. And they're inviting me. He's like, where are you going to live? You have to live in our neighborhood. Love her. So how do we even approach these circumstances? I mean, and I have a rule in which if I'm intimate with a girl, and that means that we have engaged in sexual activities, and sexual activities for me, and I'm not, and from the request of one of the families, was not to, well, and the immortal mother's words, do not slut it up. And I said, I won't. And so I definitely have to make sure that I have my best foot forward. And looking at, okay, do not, approach all these girls and try and sleep with them and have sex with them. And it's like, God, how do you say no to a woman that is just so beautiful? And all these women are beautiful, and it's not just a physical beauty; it's their spirit that they exude. It's just immaculate beauty. They're goddesses. They're just incredible. They are. They're truly, truly beautiful, beautiful women. And so that puts me in a dilemma. How do I conduct myself without being a philanderer, or a person that looks like, oh, he's just bouncing from one girl to the next to the next? It's funny, and my son is probably thinking, Dad, who is it this time? So those circumstances, and my son is just like, come on, let's get the show going, regardless. Let's keep working and so on, and keep moving forward, and let's go. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. And with this contract, he's like, what the because he's my sole beneficiary and so on. And so I want to make sure that the opportunities are obviously afforded to him as well. And that being said, there are stipulations and so on and so forth through the 32 years. If they stay with me, they're afforded 50% of everything that I have, and then my son gets the other 50%. But then it goes into the legacy, his children, and that would be my grandchildren. Is it taking away from them? Do I have more children with that person? And then, for some reason, what happens if I kick the bucket? And then, so there's all kinds of circumstances of, if improprieties occur, and they sign this contract, it's a lot of pressure. But for me, I'm just thinking the only circumstance that would occur with me would be some type of, circumstance or situation where I was the one that didn't fulfill the 32-year testament because of natural causes. Force de jure. So, anyway, but that's weather. It's not necessarily, well, it's an act of the Almighty. So, anyway, force de jure. So, anyway. So, my dilemma is I love these families, and I love them dearly, and I'm very critical of these women. I am extremely critical. I am without, I may forgive, but I do not forget. And I keep bringing up the circumstances of, what impropriety occurs, and I rub it in. Geez. I mean, how much detail do I go into about these women? Because then people wonder, are you the one that did this? Or are you the one that did that? Or are you? And so, I even get accused of things that I did not do. And then I have to explain to them, and they went down the road of thinking that I did this. And I'm like, that's not me. I don't do that. And I never will do that. And I not conduct myself in that way, and I will continue to do my best in creating opportunities for the better, and trying to include as many people that are interested in participating. I mean, it's just like how, without, prejudice. And so, that being said, there was a, now this is where my rule of what can I do intimately. And although the circumstance is, okay, this was my rule. Okay, if I am with a girl and we are intimate, and intimate means that, okay, we can kiss and hug and do all that stuff. I'm all for that. I love it. I love intimacy. But as soon as we start removing articles of clothing and we get to our skivvies, our underwear, and so on, because topless girls are topless girls. Yeah, it doesn't. As soon as genitalia are exposed to one another, whether we, yeah, and and then this is where I have to really be concise with the circumstance. If we are naked with one another, and yeah, any type of circumstance where bodily fluids can be exchanged, where possibly some type of circumstance may or may not occur, and I am 100% clean. I don't have any type of venereal disease or any circumstance of any uh, rash or whatever it might be. So I'm clean. I'm clean. But if there is an exchange where something could occur, where something could develop, a venereal disease could develop through physical contact and bodily fluid exchange, you must wait 30 days from the last time you have had that type of contact. And before you even have that kind of contact, they have to be tested, first of all. So anyway, yeah, just a blood test showing those circumstances that you are disease free. So, just by a professional, not just a run-of-the-mill circumstance, by a professional. So, anyway, that being said, knowing those circumstances, the last day that you're intimate with that person, and that is that whole circumstance we just talked about, the bodily fluid exchange, you have to wait 30 days. And then you have to be tested on the first day after that you don't have it, or you don't have any sexual relations, and you have to be tested on the 30th day just to make sure that you have a clean bill of health. And then you can pursue another relationship. Now, there's some women that have said that's too long of a period and we need to start changing the rules. And I'm like, well, what kind of rules? They want to institute, because for me, I'm all about no condom. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because I'm in it to win it. And if I am with a girl, I am going to do my best to have children with her. Yeah, I love children. Absolutely. And that's why I say the 32-year circumstance from the point that I make that decision. And then we have our family together. We're going to be together for the kids, all that other stuff, and possibly our grandkids. So we can always have that firm foundation where we'll always be. So there is reasoning behind my 32-year circumstance. I'm thinking about generationally why I suggest the 32 years and so on and so forth. But then there are women that, well, if you're just going to kiss and hug me, we'll never know if we're sexually compatible. And, then you move on to the next girl and you kiss and hug her, and you move on to the next girl and kiss and hug her. You'll never know. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. And that's why I say, that's why 30 days in a row, if I have sex with that girl, we have sex every day in a row for 30 days. So, and that's Red Wing and all, my friends, Red Wing and all. So, that being said, some women have said, how about shortening that 30 days into 7 days? I'm like, 7 days. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, jeez. So, and then they're like, how about 7 days in a row with one girl, 7 days off, 7 days in a row with another girl, 7 days off, 7 days in a row with another girl, and 7 days off. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, is that fair for women? I mean, I have no idea. So that's what I'm juxtaposing right now. My rules and my wantingness of being cautiously optimistic with all this other stuff. And I agree with premarital sex. I mean, it's not like as soon as I have sex, I'm like, you got to sign this testament. That's it. It's not like that. It's not like you have to sign this testament before we have sex either. That's not part of the equation. It's like I want to be in love, but obviously I think I fall in love very easily, and and being with that girl, and if I know that there's a 7-day agreement that I'm with a girl, and then I take 7 days off, and I'm with another girl, and do I make the women aware of this? I don't know. I need feedback on this. So anyway, because these families are awesome, and I love these ladies, and it breaks my heart when they, when they committed on impropriety and they might not have been aware of it, and it is a vicious world out there. There are women that definitely set up circumstances for failure for other women. And then when they follow through, it's just like, I mean, it's like, come on. I thought we discussed these things. So anyway, so these are the circumstances. So anyway, but the 30-day circumstance versus a week on, a week off, week on, week off with those circumstances. That's what the juxtaposition is. So this has been another session of What the